Okay, let's dive right into today's explainer. We are unpacking an absolutely incredible story, one that masterfully blends a deeply human dilemma with, frankly, some mind-bending cosmic paradoxes. We're looking at the alternate mother. And this isn't just your standard mythological tale. It's a narrative that wrestles with alternate realities, the very architecture of existence, and the heavy, heavy price of ultimate spiritual freedom. So it starts off in a dusty village, but I promise you by the end, we're going to be exploring the fabric of the multiverse itself. Let's get right into it. So how can one child possibly have two biological mothers? We kick things off with an impossible human conflict that has completely shaken the Matang community. Now, the Matangs are a group of devoted disciples living peacefully under the protection of Lord Hanuman. But right now, that peace is completely shattered. The community leader, this wise old man named Baba, is forced to call a village gathering because two women are making a literally impossible biological claim. They both genuinely believe, down to their absolute core, that they are the biological mother of the exact same baby boy, a kid named Chitta. And here is where we hit our central paradox. On one side, we have Susheta. The entire village literally witnessed her give birth to Chitta a year ago. I mean, they've seen her nurse him, they've watched her raise him. It's a documented, physical fact in their reality. But then on the other side, we have Vichetta. Just 2 nights ago, right on the new moon, Vichetta inexplicably developed not just intense motherly feelings for the boy, but vivid, highly detailed memories of actually giving birth to him herself. Both of these women have completely valid, completely real feeling experiences of motherhood. And to make things even crazier, baby Chitta now suddenly identifies Vichetta as his real mother. As you can imagine, the situation spirals out of control really fast. Sucheta is understandably terrified and furious, and she starts accusing Vichetta, who happens to be childless, of using black magic to steal her son. Meanwhile, Vichetta is just sobbing hysterically. She cannot understand how the entire village could supposedly just forget that she is the mother. She vividly remembers the specific rituals performed on the 7th day of his birth. The whole village is just gridlocked by this massive illusion. So realizing that mortal logic has totally failed here, Baba decides to step in. He declares he has to consult the ancestors, who supposedly live along the negative coordinates of time, just to figure out who is actually delusional. This brings us to the first major turning point, encountering the divine and zooming way out to the cosmic scale. To find the real truth, Baba leads both of the mothers and baby Cheetah up to the formidable Ancestors' Cliff in the dead of night, searching for answers from beyond. Now, the group reaches this cliff, which is a place the Matangs visit to hook ropes and climb up to commune with spirits. Baba throws his rope into the pitch black, but it slips away. He's disappointed. But then, suddenly he sees a rope dangling right in front of his face, so he grabs it, gives it a test tug, and climbs on up. But as he reaches the top, the physical world just melts away in this breathtaking twist. He peers into the darkness and realizes a terrifying yet awe-inspiring truth. The thing he tugged to climb up the cliff wasn't a rope at all. It was the tail of Lord Hanuman. They had stumbled directly into the presence of the deity himself. So right here, our grounded village mystery suddenly transforms into an encounter with a cosmic architect. Lord Hanuman is sitting right there in the middle of the clifftop, encased in this magical sphere of white light that dissolves the night into a reddish gold glow. And Baba? He is completely overwhelmed. His body is shaking feverishly before he just throws himself to the ground in reverence. I mean, think about it. He came looking for the spirits of his ancestors, and instead he found the immortal guru of all his ancestors. Baba tries his best to explain this impossible situation with the two mothers, probably expecting Hanuman to just, declare a winner. But Hanuman completely flips the script. He points out that Chitta is not just a small child, he's actually an ancient soul. And right on cue, baby Chitta starts laughing hysterically. But the baby's giggles magically translate into words that all the adults can somehow understand. It is a stunning past life regression. The baby literally speaks, saying, "I was a month. I was wandering in search of God where else but in the land of Hindus, India." Okay, so this sets up our next major piece of the puzzle, the monk's alternate realities, and how he navigated these bizarre tunnels. This past life story introduces a massive philosophical puzzle. Basically, as a wandering monk, he'd been traveling barefoot on a blazing hot summer afternoon. He was severely dehydrated, totally desperate, and he stumbled into an isolated mud hut just looking for some water. But instead of relief, he walked into a scene of horrific misery. He found a frail, dying woman being attended to by a charlatan doctor who was just injecting painkillers for incurable cancer, right alongside her completely helpless husband and their young child. The monk was instantly consumed by this unbearable sense of helpless guilt and compassion. But unable to save her, he staggered away and ended up collapsing unconscious under a tree by a village pond.
Now, while he's unconscious, the monk finds himself facing a really profound choice. In this dreamlike space made of divine light, he stands before two very distinct tunnels. One is lit with red light, the other with green. A mysterious voice tells him that he's actually earned the right to choose his own reality. The red tunnel projects a reality where the woman dies, and the monk just has to live with his agonizing guilt. The green tunnel, on the other hand, projects a reality where the woman was never sick at all. Now, that seems like an easy choice, right? Go with the green tunnel. But the voice warns him, if he takes a secret lateral gateway from the red tunnel into the green one, his memories of her suffering are going to leak into a reality where she is perfectly healthy. It would create this insane memory overlap and a paradox that would just leave him completely baffled.
So, what does the monk do? He actually tests out these realities. He literally fast-forwards and rewinds through the tunnels like you would with a movie on a screen. First, he enters the green tunnel laterally. He sees himself waking up and trying to convince this completely healthy woman that she was just dying moments ago. Obviously, this completely terrifies her and her family, who just assume he's an insane tramp. Then, he tries entering the green tunnel from the main entrance to avoid that whole paradox. This results in a totally ordinary, mundane day where he simply drinks water and moves on, completely unaware of any alternate reality or any suffering at all. But then, the monk does something really extraordinary. After exploring both of these simulated timelines, he just walks back out of the tunnels completely. He stands right before the tree of light and tells the mysterious voice, "I choose none. They're both illusions. None is better than the other." He realizes that the moment you choose an illusion, even a really happy one, you make it real. And once it's real, you are forced to actually live through its inherent pains and pleasures. He recognizes that the whole thing is just a trap of the material world. By rejecting the simulation entirely, the monk demands moksha. Now, moksha is the ultimate spiritual goal here. It means complete freedom from the endless cycle of birth and death and total liberation from all worldly pains and pleasures. He absolutely refuses to be bound by any reality. And right then, the mysterious voice that was asking him to choose reveals himself to be none other than Lord Hanuman. Hanuman reaches out his hand, and the very next thing the monk knows, he is reborn in the Matan community as baby cheetah. Which brings us to the architecture of his present reality and the 7 possible outcomes he was given. Snapping back to the present moment on the cliff, Hanuman explains exactly how the monk's past life connects to these two feuding mothers. It turns out the current paradox with Sucheta and Vicheta isn't some accident. It's not black magic. It is entirely by the soul's own design, just like the tunnels in his past life. 2 days ago, right on the new moon, Hanuman presented Chalatsa's soul with 7 distinct reality configurations. You can think of it kind of like a cosmic sliding scale of motherhood and suffering. He could have chosen reality 1, where Sucheta is his mother and everyone's perfectly happy. Or reality 5, where the mothers just peacefully take turns. He could have even chosen reality 7, where he's completely abandoned. But shockingly, out of all those options, Hanuman reveals that Chitta's soul intentionally selected the incredibly difficult 6th reality. The reaction from the mothers is understandably profound. Sucheta actually lets out this shriek of horror at first. She feels like she's just been sentenced to death. But then she starts to fully grasp the divine architecture behind this choice. The universe didn't curse them. Their son's ancient soul consciously orchestrated this exact painful situation. So here is exactly how this brutal 6th reality functions. It's basically a blend of alternating motherhood and agonizing conflict. For 2 weeks, Sucheta is the biological mother, while Vicheta has to suffer the sheer agony of remembering a child that doesn't even recognize her. Then it violently flips. Vicheta becomes the true mother for a fortnight, and Sucheta is plunged into that exact same one-sided pain. This cycle of temporary joy and totally inevitable, predictable suffering is set to repeat continually for the rest of their lives. So this step-by-step arrangement means both women are truly his mother, but the system is quite literally designed to inherently create unending conflict. Which leads to the ultimate question. The ultimate truth. Why choose pain? Now, you might be wondering, as the villagers definitely were, why on earth would any soul, especially an enlightened monk, intentionally choose a reality that is guaranteed to cause cyclical pain for everyone involved? Well, Hanuman reveals the ultimate truth here. This suffering is a feature, not a bug. Cheetah's soul chose the sixth reality specifically because it is so paradoxical and so painful. The constant shifting of mothers, the impossible memories, the unending conflict, it acts like a built-in alarm system. It is this constant, screaming reminder of the illusionary nature of the mortal world. Because think about it. If life were perfectly peaceful, Cheetah might become passionately attached to it and completely forget his goal. By choosing a reality that constantly breaks its own rules and causes severe distress, he prevents his soul from becoming too attached to the material world. It ultimately helps him maintain focus on his true desire, which is attaining moksha.
Hearing this divine explanation completely washes away all the ill feelings between the two women. Sucheta and Vicheta accept this beautiful, yet deeply tragic arrangement, choosing to embrace the alternating fortnights of joy and pain. And as we wrap up today's explainer, it really leaves us looking at our own lives, doesn't it? If a soul would intentionally engineer hardship just to keep itself awake to the illusion of reality, it begs a pretty profound question. Are the endless conflicts, the bizarre paradoxes, and the seemingly unfair struggles in your own life actually just carefully designed illusions? Could they be meant to help you detach and find ultimate freedom? Think about that for a second. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today, and keep questioning the reality around you.